So at the end of this assignment, what you are going to do, you will have a created website using the following Amazon Web Services. What are those? EC2, which is virtual machine, EBS, which is equivalent of hard disk, ELB is load balancer, and S3 is storage. So what you are going to store, how you are going to use load balancer in different regions, how the EBS volume is going to be used, we are going to see that. So launch, first stage is building EC2 web server. How it is launch an EC2 instance based on Linux or Windows. When you talk about Apache, you need to install on Linux systems only. But if you want to use web server in Windows, you need to have IIS server. That is the default one on Windows server. But in this case, we will take only Linux operating system. We will build for Apache 2 only. To meet the following objectives, the instance should be type T1.micro. This T1.micro is there either OS, any OS, right?
Sir, actually I couldn't find the T1.micro. It starts from T2.
And the free tier account T1 is not there.
No.
Have you checked RAM, you also in your account?
I'm checking now, sir. I always use T2 micro till now.
Okay, then you tell them I have free tier account in that T1.micro is not available as on now in my region. That's all simple. Okay.
No. Yeah.
Then the instance should reside within region AP South Mumbai region. Okay, you can say you have to do in Mumbai region only. Don't change the specification. Stick on to this. Okay, within availability zone South 1A. Okay, 1A should be Mumbai only. I think in Mumbai, how many regions are? How many zones are there? Anybody is aware?
3.
What are those? Mumbai region.
There were 3 availability zones: 1A, 1B, 1C.
No. 1A, 1B, 1C. In Mumbai region, what are the cities? What are the locations? Are you aware?
No.
Okay, fine. Anyhow, you give 1A. It doesn't matter for us. We need to follow the specification only. The instance should be a 1 GIB. It is not 1 GB. You need at least 10 GB. Okay, 1 GB building server. It should work for this simple thing because you are not building database server there. If you build database server, you need more. Okay, use 1 GB attached EBS volume and contain a valid partition table with one partition. See, the partition will come with Windows on Linux also. You can do partition. The partition should contain a valid file system. Okay, what is that file system? The file system residing on EBS volume should be mounted automatically upon reboot of the EC2 instance. Okay, here we need to note down one point. You guys need to be aware. Just you search in the offline. This one, AWS. Okay, let us pull that.
I have it, sir.
You have a link for that?
Yeah, I just did it.
Okay, you share that link.
Yeah.
Let us go through that link also at this point. Okay, next one is the instance should serve web pages via an appropriate service such as Apache or IIS servers. This service should start automatically upon boot. So you need to use bootstrap basically, right? To start it. Okay, what you need to do? You need to use bootstrap. Starting. boot and every boot. Okay, then okay, the instance should serve as a web page index.html, which you are going to do in the changes. Index.html, you are going to use it. You used it earlier in many demos, and containing well-formed HTML displaying hello AWS world. This is simple actually. You can echo it into the file, and that file can be made it as index.html. I mean, in the HTML itself, we can format it and display the screenshots created below in stage 3. The HT file. They will be hosted separately. HTML file should reside on the previously created EBS value and be served as the default document from web server root. See, the EBS value, what is there, it will show the disk device, HD01, HD1, such kind of things. You need to make sure your web server is configured on that value. Am I right, Poonam?
Yes, sir. Not
But
in the
but by default it will go there only, right?
Yeah. So we need to change that in the HTTPD configuration file.
That configuration settings need to be changed.
Yeah.
The instance should use security groups effectively to allow administrative and serve HTTP request only. So you are going to create the security groups for these things, HTTP, HTTPS, all those things. But it says HTTP only, no HTTPS. We should restrict to that requirement. Okay. Then second stage is building and configuring elastic load balancer. Creating a create an ELB with the following specs. ELB should be created in the Singapore region. The ELB should accept HTTP on port 80. Yes. The healthy threshold for the ELB to be set to 2 seconds. Deliver traffic to EC2 instance created in stage 1. Have you done ELB setup offline?
No.
No, not yet.
No.
Okay. Okay, we need to divide into different parts here. One is up to this part, stage 1, we can do basic thing, right? Then later creating ELB, we need to work separately. We need to do some practice, and later you can come up with those steps to map it, design steps. Okay. Then configure S3. Create a simple storage service bucket with the following specification. Bucket should be created in the episode 1 region. Bucket should be publicly readable. It means your URL need to be declared public. You understood? Bucket in PNG format, clearly showing the following. You can copy that screenshots into MS Word initially, then later on put them into PPT and convert them into PNG, save as PNG. That is the option. Okay. Then those PNGs can be uploaded into your S3 bucket. The mounted EBS value, I mean, whatever you are doing here, there are different steps for design steps. All those design steps, you can do it. Whatever he mentioned, the specs clearly, according to this. See, specifications line by line. Those lines, screenshots, you can copy it MS Word, and later you can convert them into different pages, and those can be stored in S3 PNG files. Ram, it is for you.
Yes, sir.
Here we are not doing PNG files process. That is left to you for live presentation purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Mounted EBS volume example using Windows Explorer are run from the console on a Linux host. This screenshot should be named as screenshot 1. Okay. Okay. The index file resides with EBS using Windows Explorer Linux. Go to the mounted volume directory and run pwd ls-i. Okay. ls-l, this is okay. The screenshot should be named as screenshot2.png. The web server has been configured to serve HTML from the EBS value as the default document example, the relevant section of the Apache configuration file or IIS manager. Okay. This screenshot should be named as screenshot 3. Poonam, you need to write the exact design specifications for these also, because if somebody asks you in the interview, you need to write only those steps. We should not use our own what we practiced in the past. Just I'm giving this to stick on to the requirement only purpose. Okay, writing design steps. Remember to use S3 URL in the index file hosted on EC2. Because through index file you are displaying it. Am I right? Here one task is there, Poonam. Here what you are supposed to, in the index file, you need to put that URL. When you click on that, it will go to the S3. It means you are sharing from the web page. Not only putting your welcome message from the AWS, this one below that it should show, please see the PNG files from the link. Okay, there is a process for that. Actually, in S3, no, it is not S3. Basically, index file, one small HTML file can be created. It you might have seen in W3 schools, so tutorials, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what are the deliverables? Provide the communicated email ID, the following information, the public DNS or public IP or EC2. This is a public IP or taking it. EIP, you can use it, fixed IP. That is, even they shut down the system, that is the public IP. The public URL to the web page via ELB. Okay, via ELB is you are configuring the ELB basically. And here, okay, ELB specs they have given it. There is no issue. And please note, ensure that you leave your solution up running and available for it to be evaluated. This should occur within 2 business days of submitting your assignment. Upon receiving feedback from the recruitment team, you should terminate and delete all resources used for the assignment to avoid unnecessary charges. Okay, okay. In 2 days, he is going to eat up around for you.
Yeah, sir, lot of things to do.
Okay, now let us go through mounting file system first. Whatever she shared it. But there is no database. If database is there, it occupies. It's only web page and S3. S3 cheaper on.
It is down, sir.
Pardon?
If you scroll down, it is down.
Yeah, first let me explain this. So making an EBS volume available for use on Linux. After you attach the EBS volume to your instance, it is exposed as a block device. As obviously it is hard disk. You can format the volume with any file system, then mount it. After you make the EBS volume available for use, you can access it in the same way that you access any other volume, like hard disk only. Any data written to this file system is written to the EBS volume and is transparent to applications using the device. You can take snapshot of your EBS volume for backup purpose or use as a baseline when you create another volume. Okay, like if you want to transfer the data, that is the possibility. Hard disk to hard disk, we can take backup, and the backup can be used under snapshot format. And in AWS only, you can use snapshots. So for Windows, separate process is there. Then how to format and mount an attached value. Suppose you have an EC2 with EBS value, which is root is having XVDA, and that you have just attached an empty EBS volume to instance using dev SDF. Use the following procedure to make the newly attached volume available for use. Here in the requirement, what they told is use 1 GB attached EBS volume. They are not talking about the attached volume with T1 micro. Okay, T1 micro, whatever you are attaching, they are not bothered it, but they wanted this 1 GB volume, either your basic, no, but basic EBS needs some 8 GB or 10 GB, right, for OS purpose, right, Puno?
Yeah, root volume will be there. We have to
Root
attach
value is there,
another.
we need to attach separate one,
EBS,
the second volume,
yeah.
right? So in the second volume, you are, sorry, Where is it? Okay. Now what you are supposed to do here, connect your instance using SSH, and device could be attached to the instance with a different device name that you specified in the block device mapping. For a more information device naming on Linux instances, you can use the lsblk command to view your available disk devices. After attaching this device, it will show second device also, and mount points, if applicable, to help you determine the correct device name to use it. The output of lsblk removes the /dev prefix from full device paths. Basically, the device names are making now with these things. The following is example output of an instance built on Nitro system, which exposes EBS volumes as NVMe block devices. The root device is dev NVMe0N1, that is his name basically. Then attached volume is NVMe1N1, which is at mounted. And okay, this is the one to be mounted it, right? Now the following sample output of T2 instance root device is this one. Basically, that is the root device. By default it has come. So you can see from this, these you are supposed to do these commands and list them in the design steps. Poonam.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. Determine whether there is a file system on the volume. New volumes are raw block devices, and you must create file system on them. Normally what happens when you bring a hard disk, typical hard disk from external party, you are attaching to the Linux system. You need to format it. The formatting is here you are creating a file system, nothing but. In Windows, if you format a hard disk, it will create a file allocation table, basically FAT table. For that, you need to format a hard disk or pen drive or anything, which can be readable from the Windows OS. The same way, Linux system purpose, they are creating the file system. That is must. So now you need to write the headings also, creating the file system in the following steps like that for clarity purpose in the design steps. Volume that were created from snapshots likely have a file system on them already. See, snapshot is you are taking already available backup of the EBS volume and creating into the snapshot ID. So you don't need to worry when you are using the snapshot. But here, fresh device, you are adding it to the Linux system that need to be configured it. If you create a new file system on top of an existing file system, the operating system overwrites your data. So use the file -s command to get information about a device, such as its file system type. If the output shows simply data as in the example output, there is no file system on the device. So let us say XPDF, it has got data. It means there is no file system. Okay, it is a fresh one device. If the device has file system, the command shows information about the file system type. Sudo file -f, if you see, as it has got some file system data, it has got some bytes and all those things. Okay, then if you discover that there is a file system on the device in the previous step, skip this step. If you have an empty volume, use mkfs -t command to create file system. This is the command to create the file system. So now on what device you are creating, XPDF is the device, new device you are creating on this device. That device name need to be given in the command line. Then after that, if you get an error, then mkfs.xfs is not found. Use the following command to install xfs tool, then repeat the previous command. Xfs tool is to create the file system. Basically, one utility is required. So you are installing that XFS programs, then use the mkdir command to create mount point directory for the value. The mount point is where the volume is located in the file system tree, where you read and write files to after your mount value. The following example creates the directory. Let us say you are creating a data. Instead of data, you can say Apache in your case. That Apache is mapped to this file system. Basically, when you mounted it, file system, on which directory you are mounting it, that particular hard disk. It means the hard disk data is mapped to this particular folder, which you are calling it as Apache, right? Am I right, Poonam?
Yes, sir.
Review the file system permissions of your new value mount to make sure that your users and applications can write the value. For example, about file system, see the file security. The mount point is automatically preserved after rebooting your instance. To automatically mount the CVS value after reboot, automatically mount an attached value after reboot. You need to study this one also, and you can check that point also in the design steps. So automatically mount an attached value after reboot, how it is, you need to follow these steps. So the mount an attached value automatically after reboot, how it can be done. You are creating a backup of file system. You can use it if you accidentally delete the file system. Basically what happens, you are creating the backup for that. Okay. Then its UID you are finding it. Okay. Then after that, use the ls-blk command to check it. Is it correct? That UID. Okay. Then after that, you are opening the FS tab file using any text editor such as Nano or VM, and you are adding that ID into the FS tab. So file system tab basically. Okay. FS tab is storing in the ETS FS tab, but when you are rebooting, it is going to be linked to that. Basically, this is for linking particular device ID. Okay, is it correct? Oh no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have not done these things, I think, so far. Have you done?
No.
You need to try these things. Okay. Then, if you ever boot your instance without this volume attached, the no fail mount option enables the instance to reboot even if there are errors mounting the value, and including Ubuntu versions earlier must also add the no boot wait mount option. It means this will make you to reboot the hard disk also. It should be available, that device. Then once it is available, you are going to write after that the bootstrap script to start the Apache server. When Apache server is started, your site is up running. That's all. So one can go and browse it always. Okay. And to verify that your entry works, run the commands to mount device. 1 minute. Just go on somewhere. Okay. Right, you are registering and recording all these things in the beginning itself. It stores there, and automatically, you know very well in the backend it is going to store in the JSON script. Okay, right now what you are going to do next step, after having tried and confirmed it, the mounting process, you are moving forward with setting up the Apache server. Right, Poonam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then after that you are going to create the hello world AWS, this one. After that you are adding in the same HTML file the URL of the S3. Right, so you can do stage 2 step initially, then later on stage 3 you can do it. Let us follow their principle, their steps. Instead of doing here, I mean, because they wanted ELB screenshots also, right? That is the reason they have given in stage 3, configuring S3 and uploading the S3 files. So these we have discussed it. In the same EBS value, it is going to be done it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Is it clear, this one?
Yes, sir.
Right, Ram.
Yes, sir.
What is your understanding?
You have to watch the video again, sir.
Which video?
This recording.
This discussion video.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a less practice guy, basically.
Yes.
Okay, I'll stop video.